Good day or good evening, whatever time it is that you're watching this video. Happy New Year's! As this is being recorded, we are approaching the end of 2025 and we're getting ready to go into 2026. And in years past, I haven't really been very excited for a New Year's. It was just another day for me, really. But this year just seems to be different. And I'm not sure why. I mean, I might have some inklings as to why, but all in all, I just haven't ever been this quite excited for a New Year's as I am this time around. So I wanted to do a special New Year's reading and kind of feel out the vibes and see what is coming for the collective in the new year in 2026. So let's go ahead and get on into it. You guys will have to let me know if you guys are excited for this new year. And let me know why you're excited. I would love to hear. I would love to hear about that in the comments. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining me with this little New Year's party that I have prepared here with the sparkliness and the lights and the beautiful shininess. I was feeling the shiny vibe tonight. In this recording, I am currently at nighttime. And I apologize if my obsession with time annoys anybody out there, but I am definitely obsessed with recording what time of day it is or night it is that I am filming. So, yeah, that's me. So, Spirit, anyways, what is coming? What gateways, what energies should we be expecting? Should the collective be expecting for this coming year? Spirit is even excited about it as well. Coming year. Yes. Okay. Very exciting. Got two here. Shambhala initiations. Retreating to recharge, trusting the process, and Dharma. And then we have the Crystal Skull Wisdom. See, I knew I was channeling that sparkly energy. That's beautiful. It says clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. Let's go. So I really feel here that within the collective, there is a lot of retreating to recharge happening currently. That is very resembling of the energies that have been pretty consistent here for a little bit of time as I've been tapping into the energies. And there's a full trusting in the process here that's being established as well. Some great and mighty things I truly believe are going to occur, or are going to at least begin to occur in 2026. And going into this year with the wisdom that one must trust the process of everything unfolding is a very high vibrational way of going into not only 2026, but any new year. And with this card coming out, I really feel that Spirit is just letting the collective know that this time of slowdown and quieter, surroundings at this time within the mentee and perhaps within your physical as well, that it's not something to be looking at as a failing. It's more of an opportunity in order to recharge yourself. Because there is an aspect of this recharge really needing to happen before this new year comes into full swing. I'm hearing that this new year is going to require all of us to be fully charged and ready. I'm hearing. Our physical bodies are used to the regime of work nonstop, And this recharge speaks of how it's a time for your spirit to be able to catch up with the physicality of your life. It also speaks of meditation and reflection, and reflecting upon the past year, and reflecting on all the lessons and all of the things that have happened throughout this year going into the next year. It's very important, I'm hearing Spirit say, to do this in order to prepare yourself for what's to come in the future. And with this Crystal Skull Wisdom card coming out, I have to kind of chuckle a little to myself, because as I was looking for things to put out here for the spread in this evening, my eye went to this shiny... Actually, I'll go ahead and grab it real quick. Alright, I'm back. So, as I was saying, as I was setting up for this reading, and I was selecting objects as to what to put down here, my eye had almost like playfully went over to this skull here. And I really wanted to put it out there, but I kind of second guessed myself there, because I was like, well, I don't want these people to think that I'm just some straight weirdo that's just going to put a random shiny skull out there. But I was really like looking for shiny objects, really. And I absolutely love this little skull that I found just randomly at some random store. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to maybe put them somewhere. Let's see. How about right here? Let's put them there. Right above the Crystal Skull Wisdom card. And I love that. It's very fitting, because it's like a skull. It represents death and rebirth, and that's exactly what the cycles of the new year and the old year, you know, the death of the old and the rebirth into the new. And I am definitely one of those types that embraces both dark and light, embraces both the death of things and the birthing of things. And so I do find objects such as this beautiful shiny skull here. I love how even the nose looks like an upside down heart. See? So you can find the love there within the representation of death. And really, I'm being guided to share this here about crystal skulls in particular. Crystals, quartz crystals really, but any crystal, can, when they're carved into certain shapes, such as the skull, for an example, it can help to bring clarity to the mind, right? Because the skull is a part of the head space. And so when these crystals are held or put in place around you during meditative moments or in your sacred spaces, it can help to bring clarity to your mind. And that is definitely one added thing that we need going into a new year. But this specific card in this deck talks about how all aspects of your life are becoming clearer and clearer to you over this period of time. And it speaks of how you should expect to become very clear and aware of just what you should be stepping away from at this time and what you should focus on within your path. And it talks about complications in this matter in the past, and how you may have felt a little out of touch as far as focus goes on where and what you should be doing. And this card showing up signifies that this is coming to a clarification for you, and that you know that you're receiving divine downloads, and that you are divinely being guided here into the new year. It even says within the book here that in order for the next phase of your journey to unfold, you must follow the information you have already received. And that's this reflection. That's this, looking back and meditating and seeing everything that you have been through and learned from thus far. I think this is a brilliant way to start this reading off. Thank you, Spirit. So what else is to come in this new year? Now that we have established what to expect as we are passing over into the new year, what can we expect, Spirit? What can the collective expect to see come forth, come to fruition in this oncoming new year? Nope, I want that one. I think 3 will be good. I've really been utilizing the number 3 with the cards lately, if you guys haven't noticed. Let's see what we have to expect in this new year. We have Atlas. Try to get this silly thing to focus here. Keywords, responsibility, and weigh down. Weighed down. So responsibilities is what's really popping out on that card for me, personally. We have the Fates. Very cool. Destiny, time, fate, and lifespan. And then we have Nike. Victory, action, and excellence. So just a little rundown of the history here in case people are unfamiliar with the Grecian mythologies. Atlas here was condemned by Zeus to carry the weight of the heavens upon his shoulders. He is the god that is depicted holding the earth up, basically. And he was never allowed to set down his quote-unquote heavy burdens. And he was doomed to bear the weight of it for all eternity. Why? Because he pissed off some gods, basically. This card speaks about that very same concept of carrying the weight on your shoulders and having much to be responsible for. And this responsibility could be that others have put great responsibility on you, and you feel as if you need to carry the entire load on your own at all times. And I'm really hearing now that this is a time, this is a year of being able to kind of put that weight down for a little bit. I'm hearing the phrase, putting the suitcases down. One of my old friends who I have lost along this way, along this journey of life for me, had said this very same thing to me at one time. Put the suitcases down. Your shoulders are too tense and you are bearing much that you do not have to bear. That is ringing soundly through my mind right now, so thank you for being here as well. Happy New Year to you and the Astrals. But in any regard, this card coming out is Spirit's way of asking you to go ahead and delegate some of these responsibilities over to those who should be carrying that weight. You're also being asked to not be afraid to take a break. And I'm hearing before your knees buckle. It also speaks of thinking twice before you agree to take on any more as well. Deal with the responsibilities that you already are surrounded with, that are already on your shoulders, and really put in some thought before you agree to take on any more in this new year. And lastly, this card speaks about the fact that if somebody is putting their responsibilities over on you at this time in this new year, it is time to stand up for yourself and tell them that you cannot do it for them anymore. It is a card that speaks of not allowing others to add to your burdens any longer. And the Fates are three deities of destiny within the Grecian mythology. They're all sisters, and they determine how long someone lives, and they weave the web of fate and measure out the thread of life. And each one of them played a different role in the Fates, in the job of the Fates. It's also giving me very much the divine thrice goddess Hecate as well. I often see the Fates and Hecate kind of side by side here, in some regards. But quite interesting that the fact that the three Fates, they have different responsibilities and they carry out different aspects of fate, is very interesting with this Atlas card coming out, and the fact that a lot of us are carrying great responsibilities, and it is a call for a time to delegate and to also stand up for yourselves in that regard. And I did hear someone say that what if you can't? What if everything is on your shoulders, and literally if you don't do it, nobody will? And I can totally relate to that myself, being a single mother. I completely understand that. And the answer to that is to delegate your time better and kind of weigh out your options as far as importance goes. You know, what is most important at that time, and delegate some time for you to be able to sit down and breathe and take a rest is very important when all of these responsibilities are in fact things that you have to take on yourself because you don't have any help around you. But with the Fates card coming out, it's telling you that the destiny, your destiny, is on your side. And every opportunity that comes your way in this coming year, you will intuitively know whether it is a part of your destiny or not. 2026 is going to be the marker for when people's destinies really start coming into true fruition. And this card also speaks of the fact that you will also intuitively know whether someone or something is a part of that destiny that is to take place. So there's a big emphasis here on following your heart and following your intuition and using that as your guiding light. And I can see why the beautiful Hecate came forward as well with these three Fates, because now I can see her walking through the darkness but holding up her torch to light the way. And that's what Spirit's asking all of you to do in this new year as well. Hold up your torches and let it light your way, let it guide your way through this new year. And with the beautiful Nike here, Nike is the personification of victory and success in the Grecian mythology. And I truly believe that her presenting herself here within this reading brings the promise of victory for everybody in this coming year. You guys are destined for victory. That's what I heard just now. Say it with me now. I am destined for victory. I am destined for victory. Victory is mine and I claim it. And that goes for any regard, any victory, small or big. You know, it could be something in your minute day-to-day that just kind of went your way and you feel victorious. Say that to yourself. Yes, my destiny is victory. I often say hashtag winning. That's mine and my daughter's thing. Whenever we have even small victories in our own lives, we always say hashtag winning. So maybe that could be something fun that you guys could try to do in this new year too. You know, reward yourself with a little like victory dance or something. Anytime anything feels victorious, no matter how small it is. Because it keeps that vibration afloat, you know? You want to be in that vibration and you want to stay there, because when you do, more and more victories come in. But setting all that excitement aside for a second, this card also speaks of vulnerability and not letting your Achilles heel be your own destruction. And there's a little bit of a reminder of when these victories do come in, to not let your protection, your protective measures be depleted. Just because you are victorious and you're rising up does not mean that that protection should lower because you're going higher. Just make sure that you're still keeping your boundaries and that you still have your protective measures up. And that also goes for being wise as to who you share your vulnerabilities with as well, is what this card also speaks of. Because not everybody has good intentions at heart. And so you have to be mindful with who you are sharing your vulnerabilities with, as so that they cannot use those vulnerabilities against you later on. So it is just a little slightly of a warning there, but not really a warning, just more of a reminder. So Spirit, let's go ahead and end things out for this New Year's message for these beautiful collective people here on this channel, I myself included as well. Right off the bat, that one, for sure. And two more. Surprise, surprise. Let's see what else we've got here. We've got new life. We've got come to the edge. And then we have not for you. And right out the gate, I can't help myself with the numbers. We've got 39, we've got 36, and then we have 6 over there. Those are all manifestation numbers, if you're familiar with the Nikola Tesla theory. And with this not for you card coming out here, that kind of piggybacks off of the Nike, which is interesting that I decided to set it there. With that little bit of the reminder there with the Nike card, in the fact that, and also with the Fates too, the Fates brought in that message of you're going to intuitively know who and what is for you going into your destiny. And having that ability to decipher what is not for you and what is for you. In this new life card, it's all about the birth of new ideas, growth and opportunities. And it also speaks of that breath of fresh air, like with this Atlas card, being able to set down some of those responsibilities and take a breath. But it also speaks of life renewing itself in that manner. It speaks of the springtime, when things are once again woken up after the long winter. How things come into blossom, they start to grow, and it's like a joyous and a warmth that is renewed after the dark winter, which I find to be very appropriate for a New Year's Eve, a New Year's Day message. It's a message of hope and renewal, of that springtime warmth coming back once again. And of course, that is for those of us that live in the northern hemisphere as well. I very much realize this, but I love that fact that it speaks just of itself, of that time in spring when the plants are beginning to sprout once again and the colors of the earth become vibrant again. It's very appropriate for the mindset that we can be in and we can take into the new year. And also the fact that this card talks about new ideas being blossomed, being formed. I think this is an awesome message for the new year as well, that it is promising of that very same thing. It's promising a year of new splendid ideas, new inspirations, and new things to lead you to where you are destined to be. And this Come to the Edge card, it speaks of having courage and taking that leap of faith. I often say that this card in this deck reminds me of the Fool there on the cliff's edge. It's all about overcoming fears and accepting the risks that you are facing and facing them with courage. It even says in the book, facing the unknown is the only choice you really have right now if you want to progress. It's okay to be afraid. Now is the time to take a risk that is not calculated, to feel the exhilaration as you ready yourself for this leap of faith. This leap of faith that you are taking into this new year. Beautiful. The destiny is unknown, but it's that leap of faith that gets you thrusted forward and more towards your goals of achieving your destiny. And back to this Not For You card. In the coming year, you are going to be met with some things that are not meant for you. And some things are also going to be removed. And the reason for that is not because you're being denied of any certain thing. You're being asked here to see this removal as a form of protection of you, and a form of protection over you, what you are destined to be and where you are destined to be. So even as you are intuitively guided over this next year, when your intuition even tells you that something needs to be let go of, or that something, needs to die off. Thank you, Crystal Skull. To not feel as if it is a failure, but a stepping stone towards your future. And these are the things that Spirit wanted to share with you all for this coming new year. Thank you so much for spending this beautiful time with me in this day or evening, whatever time it is for you while you're watching this. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful new year to come. I love you all unconditionally. Until next time, bye.